Hey Chris, I got a joke for you. What does Tagline and the DCEU have in common? That's right, Chris. They're both ending right now for 2023. The only difference is Tagline will come back. Oh! What's going on, everyone? We are the Cinefanatics. It is time for the Tagline. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
I probably should have prepped you on that cold open joke.
Yeah, not at all. None whatsoever.
Should have worked on that joke because I don't know, awkward as hell.
I was about to say something too.
That's how I is. It's the end of 2023, and first and foremost, before we get started with this show, screw this year. The one good thing that I absolutely love about 2023 is we started this year with the goal of hitting 2,000 subscribers, and we did it. So thanks to all of you. Thanks to everyone who watched, like, comment, subscribe. Felt the need to subscribe because Sean Chandler retweeted our Twitter post saying that we have 30 subscribers left. I don't care.
W is a W.
Exactly. I will take those wins wherever I get them. So thank you to everyone who has made at least this part of, at least I'll speak for myself, this part of my 2023 awesome. The rest of this year can rot in hell. So that being said, let's get on to something more cheerful. Let's start this actual show. We got a lot to talk about here. Y'all know how this goes, the YouTube thing, streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. Y'all got questions, comments, issues, complaints, bribes, blackmail. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want, send it.
Not that last one.
Send it into streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. I don't know what you're blackmailing us about. I mean, we're both just perfectly decent human beings. Or try to be. So, anyways, yeah, awkwardness of that aside, patreon.com/cinefanatics. If after all of that, you still feel like we are worthy of your support and you have the means to do so, please hop on the tier that is good for you. There's a $1 tier, which is basically a thank you and gets you access to our Discord. There's the $5 tier, which gets you the access to the Discord, the thank you, which is most important. And also you get access to the monthly Patreon hangouts. We've got the trivia hangout every month, and then we have our watch along. Speaking of which, tonight, it being the last Wednesday of the month, and we haven't done the watch along yet, we're going to do the watch along tonight. And, here's the thing. After this entire year, and actually, I feel like, how long has this been going? For 2 years almost? For 2 years, we've been repping the Barbie watch.
The pink.
On Tagline, repping the pink. I probably should have worn my pink bowler shirt that I wore to the Barbie screening we went to. After all this time, I feel like there's nothing better than to do the Barbie watch along tonight. So, without further ado, for one last time during the Tagline,
I literally go nowhere without them.
I did the shorter one this time.
Yeah, thank God. And just so y'all know, and Chris can attest to this because we're doing this through StreamYard. Anyone who is familiar with StreamYard knows how this works. Me and Chris can still see each other on our screen down below the screen that y'all see on YouTube. And I've never been someone who goes to the club and fist pumps, much less sitting in my own bedroom at a desk with a camera in front of me.
Like an absolute goober.
Absolutely. Fist pumping to a Barbie song.
Listen, if he wasn't doing it, I would deny it for his sake.
I have no problem. There is no shame here. I think dignity went out the window years ago. So, anyways, so
Barbie watch along tonight.
So
Come
yes,
join us.
The official Barbie watch is tonight. So yes, come join us. That is going to be roughly after the tagline is over. I would say that is going to be 8 Pacific and 11 Eastern. It is streaming on HBO Max. Or I guess we just call it Max. You know, here's the thing.
It's streaming on X.
I'm okay with I'm okay with calling HBO Max Max. I am not okay with calling Twitter X.
Especially because they still have so much Twitter branding in various locations. I'm pretty sure the website's still called twitter.com too.
Yeah, it is. So like we still have the bird icon here below you. So yeah, I don't know if that's changing. That being said, so real quick, before I actually ADD myself out of this conversation, sign up for the Patreon, jump on that $5 tier. You get to watch Barbie with us. If you hop on that $5 tier, come come join us on our Discord in the voice chat at around 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. We will be sharing from there.
Heck, those of you who haven't actually joined us for one, just jump on tonight. Do it for the drop it in for the month and then cancel it afterwards if you want. Just come hang out with us tonight. Come on.
Yeah, come hang out.
You got $5. You got $5 to come hang out with us and watch Barbie. Let's do it.
Go dig through the couch cushions. Did you get one of those fancy holiday cards that has the money tucked into it that was sent through the mail, even though you're not supposed to send cash through the mail? You know what? Here's a good use of that $5.
You didn't get McDonald's today. Come on.
Yeah, you did well. You ate good, clean food. Treat yourself.
Somebody was like, I actually did go to McDonald's today. I can't join the Barbie watch tonight.
Someone's sitting there currently eating their 20-piece chicken nuggets with their side of sweet and sour sauce because there's no other sauce you should eat chicken McNuggets with. I'll say that first and foremost. They're sitting there like, well, guess I can't watch Barbie with them. I went to Mickey D's. Anyways, that doesn't matter. We appreciate if you like chicken McNuggets, please come. So, anyways. What else do we have to do? I know I was in the process of saying something. Oh, that's what it was. Now I don't know where my thorough line was on this, but I'm going to continue anyways. This is the last tagline of 2023, which is fitting because it's also the last Wednesday of 2023. So we actually have no choice. Yeah, amazing. So typically, those of y'all who are familiar with us, we typically will take a break after December for a couple of weeks, no tagline. There's generally, for the most part, I would say there's not really much movie news.
Sometimes it also usually starts around Christmas, so we're usually taking the Christmas week off, but we didn't do that this year.
I think we're a little bit late on that, but yeah, we're going to take a couple of weeks off. Right now, we have planned that Tagline will be back Wednesday, January 17th, which is weird because today's the 27th. And that feels like it is so far away, like easily more than half a month, which I get mathematically. It's 2 weeks.
It is actually more than half a fortnight.
Wow. That will come back into play here in a little bit.
That's his first Fortnite reference for the night. 42-year-old man.
Wait. I attest. I will understand if you do that normally. We are actually talking about Fortnite tonight on the tagline. It is one of our stories. So.
It's about a movie. It's about a movie, guys. We're not talking about the game.
Yeah. So, yeah, we will be back Wednesday, January 17th with the tagline. So stay tuned for that. That being said, because it's so late in the month, I want to go ahead and announce the other stuff we have planned for January right now. So those of y'all who are keeping track, you want to write this down, jot it in your calendar. Here's your opportunity. For those of you who are a part of the Patreon, big announcement here. I am really anxious for this. This is going to be a first for the Patreon. We are looking at Wednesday, January 24th, after the tagline. We're going to do our typical Patreon movie trivia hangout. So again, if you're at that $5 tier, you get to come join us We're going to have a lot of fun doing some movie trivia. We got our general quiz master, Vernon, who is filling it with the questions. He puts on a good trivia show, I'm trying to say. He is going to be providing us with MCU questions. Here's the difference. It is an MCU trivia hangout. It's going to be broadcast live. So even if you are not a part of the Patreon, you get to watch, and sure, I guess you can play in the chat. I don't know exactly what the rules are if we set that yet, but if nothing else, you could play to yourself.
There's a chat. There's a chat, so you can play in the chat.
There is a chat, but I mean, we're going to be live. So if you are part of our Patreon at the $5 tier, you are free to participate. You'll be on screen answering whatnot, but everyone else gets to come and watch the slaughter. Who knows the MCU the best?
And it's
Me
for
and my brother have
it's for the Cinefanatics MCU Championship golden object of some sort.
I don't
probably
know.
A clothing apparatus.
So right now we've only got this started as far as just doing a trivia hangout live, broadcasting it live. I don't know if we
go buy a plastic crown from Party City.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna write MCU with a Sharpie on it, and one of us people will wear it.
William Harold, you absolutely can play with yourself while we're on your screen. Just don't tell us.
Yeah, don't.
Same, Jeremy. Same.
Don't need to let us know.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want to play with yourself, that's cool. Anyway, so that is going to be January 24th. Again, that's going to be after Tagline, so still roughly around the same time frame, which is the 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. January 31st, which is surprisingly the last Wednesday of that month also. We'll be doing our movie watch along. Look, we know what we're doing next month. We don't know what movie we're watching, so stay tuned for that. Just keep in mind we're watching a movie after the Tagline on the 31st.
We will very likely know by the 17th what movie we'll be watching.
Very likely, yes.
If all else fails, if we don't come up with something else, it'll be Captain America Civil War.
Yeah. That actually works. That actually works very well because the two of us are going to be playing this MCU trivia, and the two of us have played MCU trivia before.
Too bad the watch along isn't before the trivia night.
That would make sense, but all right. Anyway, so that is what's coming up. One last thing that is coming up will be I don't have a thumbnail for it. That's right. I forgot to make. I haven't made one yet. So I didn't.
The marquee. We got the marquee coming up, guys.
The marquee. That is going to be what, the 26th? Yeah. So Friday, January 26th will be the marquee. That is going to be typically in January now, our annual tier ranking, what movies we are most anticipating for 2024. So, for example, Deadpool 3, probably going to be S tier. I mean, that movie looks amazing. It looks like fun. I can't wait. I'm not going to tell you what movies I'm probably putting in F tier, but there's a couple already I could tell you right off the bat I'm not interested in. So, anyways, so yeah, January 26th, Friday, January 26th, that's going to be 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. So make note of that.
Madam Web is in the F tier. What?
Yeah. Torie's over here. I want the chaos.
She wants a Saltburn watch along.
Saltburn. I'll talk about that here in a minute. So what a coinky dink you brought that up, Saltburn. I was going to call Torie Saltburn.
Are you okay tonight? Are you okay? I need to lock it in. Lock it in.
I'm fine. I'm just having a good time. It's the last Tagline of 2023, so you got to enjoy it. So anyways, let's talk about what movies we've watched over this past week. Chris and I have had some similar movies. We'll talk about those here in a minute. I don't know. So, okay. Chris, I've got a couple of them on there for you. I don't know if you've seen anything else other than those two movies.
Just what's written.
Okay. So we'll cover my other two that I've seen, and then we'll talk about the ones that we've seen together. So speaking of Saltburn, I finally got to see it. those of y'all who might not be familiar, Saltburn was the first secret screening at Fantastic Fest this year. And I went to the wrong theater. I'm a dum-dum head. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought I was in the right theater, and the movie I ended up watching I thought was the secret screening, and I was wrong. So I got out of that and realized that the secret screening was actually Saltburn. So I didn't get to see it back in September like I hoped. I finally watched it this past week. I thought it was a decent movie. I thought it was good. It's directed by Emerald Fennell, who also did Promising Young Woman. So if you're familiar with her work, or like just Promising Young Woman, that was also up for a couple of Oscars a couple of years ago, she does dark movies, but she kind of does them in a fun way. It's one of those like, am I supposed to be enjoying this, or should I be like retching in the depravity of these people that we're watching? I don't think Promising Young Woman was as bad in that kind of a category as, say, Saltburn, but I wouldn't categorize Saltburn as like a depraved movie either. It's a lot darker than Promising Young Woman, in my opinion. But there's definitely parts of it that are going to be a hard watch. Anyone who is a fan of bathtub water and who has seen Saltburn, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And Chris is like, I don't want to know.
You've already told me.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't want to know.
I didn't want to know. As far as the actors for this movie, I think Barry Keoghan did a phenomenal job. And what's his face? He's in Euphoria.
Jacob Elordi.
Yeah, Jacob Elordi. I actually like, surprising, and I haven't seen Euphoria. My brother has.
That's why you can stand watching him in anything, and I will never be able to watch him in a single thing ever.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, his character wasn't inherently bad. So when you were telling me like your thoughts of him as an actor based off of the character he portrays in Euphoria, I was expecting us to be like, well, I guess I'm gonna hate his character. His character is actually not that bad in this movie. As far as I remember, his character is mostly helpful and on the level, just a little mischievous. But
he's so good at his role in Euphoria that I never want to see his face in anything ever.
Well, don't watch Saltburn.
Is that a backhanded compliment? I don't know. I'm basically saying he's great at his job.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I recommend Saltburn if you're interested. It was a decent flick. And then I also watched The Holdovers. The Holdovers, I'll go ahead and spill this for right now. The Holdovers is in my top 10 of the year.
Mm.
It was a damn good movie. Paul Giamatti, I want to see Paul Giamatti nominated for awards like crazy. Like, he did such a good job. And it's weird because Paul Giamatti has a very distinct look and face and tone. And I got lost in the Paul Giamatti of it. He turned into this character, and I just believe this character. What?
He does have a very distinct look and face and tone, and it sounds a lot like, I am the Rhino! I'm not going to say anything spoilery, but one thing I like about this movie, I think I tweeted this out also, is he has a lazy eye in the movie, and Paul Giamatti does not have a lazy eye in real life. And I had no idea how they were pulling that off because it looked great, which is the only time I think people have said something so positive about a lazy eye. Typically, like anyone who's interacted with someone with a lazy eye, and they do this in the movie too, so I'm not being pedantic or anything. Yeah, it's hard to focus on where you should look. And they did such a good job with it. I know you're frowning. I promise. They mentioned this in the movie. I'm basically quoting the movie. Move on.
They do such a good job with it that I tried Googling, like, how did they do this? And I found a website where Paul Giamatti and both Alexander Payne are like, we're never going to tell you. We're just going to leave that a Hollywood mystery. And I'm like, fair enough. I was like, I'm okay with that. I love the chat. Y'all are just trolling me at this point.
Nope.
Look, I have nothing against people with lazy eyes. I know it happens. I'm
I hope
okay
not.
with it. But in the confines of this movie, anyways, moving on.
Why are you so stuck on this one part?
Y'all giving me shit about it. I want to defend myself. Anyways, moving on. Holdovers is a fantastic movie. There is a little bit of Christmas involved in it because that's the story of it, is people being holed over during Christmas. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like watching movies that have anything to do with Christmas outside of Christmas time, watch it now because this is unless you're watching it next year. But otherwise, if you don't have a problem with it, watch it whenever. But it was a good movie. Anyways, that's it for the two that I watched. For the two that both me and my brother watched, we watched Aquaman 2, which both of us had thought it was pretty good. It was a decent movie. It was watchable. Oh, I thought you were leaning in to say something.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what Torie put. Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what that emoji was because the way my monitor is, I can't see it. I just see purple.
I don't see anything at all. I just see like blocks. Yeah, I see that. Oh, is that what it is?
I think it's that. I don't know. Yeah, Aquaman 2. That's so weird. I have YouTube pulled up over here and it's not showing. I don't know. YouTube is weird. StreamYard's weird. It's all weird. Anyway, yeah, Aquaman 2. More of the same of the first Aquaman. So if you love the first Aquaman, you're gonna love Aquaman 2. I was above tolerating Aquaman. I like it. It's fine. Aquaman 2, same. They're both good. They're both decent, fun little action comic book movies that don't really mean anything at all anymore.
Especially now. Yeah.
So. Listen, should you go to the theater to see it? If you want to. I'm not going to say that anybody has to go to the theater to see it, but yes, she is. And she is actually in a pretty decent amount of the movie. She isn't actually like, a lot of people going into this thought a lot of her scenes were going to get cut. Not so. She was actually in a lot of scenes.
So if you would like, the one thing that we didn't include in our review because we just completely didn't talk about Amber Heard at all. But if you're interested, I did try my best just out of sheer curiosity. It's not to try to shame or anything. I was just curious. I did try to count how much screen time she actually had. And I counted she had about 2 minutes and 52 seconds of screen time in the entire movie, which might not sound like a lot from like an hour and a half, hour and 45, almost 2 hour, or is it a little over 2 hours? I can't remember.
It's around 2 hours.
Just saying that number doesn't sound like a lot. She is in a good part of the movie. I mean, like anytime there's a big fight, anything that really involves the family, she is a part of. So she's a decent amount.
The screen time isn't a lot, but the scenes she's in are important scenes. So
I will say that I didn't count anyone else. So my counting was biased that I was only counting whenever Amber Heard was on screen.
You didn't count for Randall Park?
Yeah, I wasn't counting Randall Park. I will say, in my opinion, I think Amber Heard was on screen more than Tamora Morrison or Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the two of them had like smaller scaled down roles, and so did Amber Heard. I don't think Amber Heard's role was super huge. I think it was mainly, if anything happened to their family, we were mostly focused on Aquaman's reaction more than Mara's.
Her role boils down to mom, being a mom. She's a mom.
Yeah, roughly. So she has a decent amount of screen time compared to the other like side players, co-stars, whatever. But yeah, I don't think she was necessarily like shamed out of DC.
William, stop it.
Yeah. Anyways,
God.
Moving on from that, then we also saw Godzilla -1. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about like we were running into money issues, and money issues are still a problem. Streamlabs.com/cinefanatics. If you would like to help us out, but we were so tight on money, we have to be very selective as to which movies we went to go see. So we went to go see Aquaman 2, which is a funny thing to say.
You got to hit the ones that'll produce numbers on the channel.
Yeah. So we did have friend of the show, Mr. Commentating Nerd, donated to streamlabs.com/cinefanatics, and therefore provided us with the opportunity to go see Godzilla -1. We did go see that, and I will tell you, I am not a Godzilla fan. Like, the idea, like big kaiju storming the city, like I love that idea. I liked Cloverfield. I thought Cloverfield did it pretty well. But in general, like especially your older Godzilla movies, maybe it was because I was a kid when I first saw those and I was like, the costume looks cheap. This looks terrible. This isn't believable. I don't care. And so I just never really cared about Godzilla or King Kong or any other like kaiju type movies. And then we got the newer like MonsterVerse movies, Godzilla, King Kong, and whatnot. They're okay. They're fine. I think they're skewing a little more dramatic than they need to be. A lot more science and all of this, whatever. And then we got Godzilla -1, and everyone has been singing the praises of this movie. And I was like, all right, this one I'm curious about because I've seen clips and whatnot. Chris, you're kind of the same way, right?
Sort of, not as much. I actually, for the most part, I enjoyed the recent Godzilla Monsterverse movies. Maybe not so much. Which one was it? Oh, King of the Monsters. King of the Monsters was kind of dull for me, and it should have been a lot better because you had a bunch of crazy kaijus going at it in that movie.
Was that the one with like Ghidorah?
Yeah, it was Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra were in it.
Should have been good. Should have been amazing.
That one was I was kind of on that one. But the 2014 Godzilla was good. Kong Skull Island I thought was great. It's probably it's probably my favorite of the entire universe so far.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla versus Kong was just corny, cheesy, fun. Is all it was. So that's where I kind of stand. I haven't really dived into the Toho Godzillas myself, the old ones, but yeah, this would technically be my first Toho Godzilla, I think, watching this one.
I may have seen some of the others. I know I've seen the original Godzilla. I just don't remember.
I forgot there's the 1998 one that everybody forgets about.
Oh yeah. There's a reason we forget about that one. Yeah. Fantastic soundtrack though. Like really amazing. One of the best like soundtracks of the 90s. Which is Kashmir, but sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more associated with Godzilla now in my head.
At least to us, those of us who grew up and were kids during the 90s, yeah. Anyway, so we watched this movie. I loved this movie. Like, this was a good, just simplistic Godzilla movie. This is the type of movie that when I was a kid and I heard what Godzilla was about, this is the movie that I would imagine. And then you go and you watch those Godzilla movies from like the 50s and you see like that cheap rubber suit and you're like, this isn't hitting Torie's emoji that she posted or blocks or whatever. This isn't hitting that. Like what I had imagined, that's not it. Godzilla -1 is what I imagined. It was fantastic. Good, simple story, easy to follow. Yes, granted, it's all in Japanese and subtitles. It's easy to watch. It's easy to follow. There's a lot of stuff to watch and be amazed by on screen.
Yeah, the Godzilla -1, one of the things it excels at that I think the MonsterVerse really hasn't figured out is the human story side. And they made it a very, very simple, easy to digest human story. Only involved like maybe just a small handful of characters that you didn't have to keep up with who was who and where and why and all this. It was just, you were focused basically on one guy and the surrounding supporting characters and what that storyline was with them. And it was just a deeply emotional story with those characters that Godzilla just happened to also be a part of that story too. And it's a very unique way of doing it. It's like I was sitting there crying by the end, having tears welling up in my eyes, and I'm like, this is a Godzilla movie. Why is this happening right now? But
yeah,
it's an emotional tale that Godzilla also happens to be a part of, and they do an amazing job on Godzilla also. When that laser fire, whatever heat breath that Godzilla has happens, whoo, you feel that. They did such a good job on it.
What's amazing by this is this was a movie that was made for less than 15 million.
Marvel, take notes.
Yeah. Well, Marvel's over here spending 250 million on their movies. Now, granted, probably a lot of that budget is, say, like 250 million. I think that was like for Endgame. A lot of that money is being spent on the actors that are having to come back to play their roles. I mean, I think at one point I heard, like, if you're making a Marvel movie with Robert Downey Jr., there's at least $50 million that goes straight to Robert Downey Jr. So you didn't have that in this Godzilla movie. I didn't recognize anyone. Of course, granted, a lot of these actors are all Japanese actors who probably typically just are in Japanese movies that we don't see or interact with a lot in America. So
I love this comment. It's one of the best Jaws movie made since 1975.
Yeah,
it's pretty accurate.
But yeah, like what they were able to do with that budget was amazing. Like, there is so much, the way the Godzilla looks, the way they did the effects. Yeah, there's a couple that I was telling my brother, like, the only thing that I had like against some of the effects is that Godzilla, at some points, he looks static. Like, he's just sitting here with his hands like this, and he's just moving around. That may be his normal resting position, but it did look a little weird in those times where he's just walking through a city with his arms just right next to him.
It's just how Godzilla does. Just the classic look of Godzilla.
But that's it. That's really the only complaint I have on the look of Godzilla. The rest of this movie, absolutely amazing. And the static pose really doesn't matter.
Listen, Godzilla does the flying full body kick. Not in this movie. I wish he did. That would have been cool. But he does the flying full body kick, and Godzilla can do whatever Godzilla wants to do.
Yeah. So we got, Godzilla's the best Jaws movie. We got Tremors begs to differ. That's great.
Gosh, you guys are going crazy. All right. Yep.
Anyways,
Godzilla -1, good movie.
Yeah, go see Godzilla -1. It's got some legs to it. It's been in the theater for quite a while, and the showing we went to was completely like sold out.
Yeah, so, it was a full showing still, which is pretty crazy. It's been in the theater for a while now.
And we didn't even, like, I wouldn't even say we didn't even go to like one of the major popular theaters. Like, we didn't go to Alamo Drafthouse for this. We went to like a side theater. Alamo Drafthouse usually sells out every showing of every movie all the time. This one, nope. This was full in a side theater. So, anyways, let's us get into the final movie news of 2023.
Ladies and gentlemen,
good evening. This is what's happening in your world tonight.
We apologize for the interruption.
back to you.
That's right. This is your box office take right now. This is for the domestic weekend, number 51 of the year 2023. We have one more weekend. We won't be covering it. We won't be here. But this one is an interesting one because there is about five new releases. I think, 5 new releases. One of them doesn't look like it's a wide release, but we'll get to that in a second.
This was a weird weekend for releases because of the Christmas holiday.
Yeah, and these are all hitting very different markets too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I really would say that there's probably no overlap at all in any of these, which is crazy. Not to take away from the fact that Wonka is still out too. But can we guess what the number 1 movie in the box office this weekend was?
I mean, there's like 5 movies. Yeah. Aquaman?
Fish Talk To Man.
Aquaman actually took number 1. That's impressive.
Yeah, at about almost 28 million. So don't be too impressed.
I am waiting to be impressed.
Yeah. So
there's an entrapment quote right there for you. Okay.
That's not entrapment. That's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, you went even more deep with a Sean.
People
Connery
have seen
quote.
entrapment.
Hey, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is fine. It's fine. It's okay. Anyway, number 1 movie is Aquaman. So, like we said, pretty decent movie. Saw it number 1. Number 2, not any of the new releases. It's actually Wonka. Wonka is hanging out at the number 2 spot this week. Second weekend in the box office. Currently looking at a total of about 75.5 million. Also, this is going to be for, I believe, a 4-day weekend. I think this is for the 4-day weekend. So these are 4-day weekend totals.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Counting Monday was Christmas. So number 3 is that duck movie, Migration. That duck movie.
So top 3 so far, all movies that families can go see. So
makes sense.
Yep.
Number 4, another new release, Anyone But You. I forgot this movie was coming out.
Not a family movie, I would say.
No, that's the Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney doing the sex or something movie, I guess.
They're doing the sex thing.
I think they're doing the sex. I don't know. Probably at some point in the movie. Maybe outside of the movie. Who knows? Number 5 is a Indian movie, Solar, which you might have heard of this. This is another one of these that's being hyped up like RRR was. But this is getting a lot of hype. This is also a part 1.
Yeah.
So I believe there's going to be a part 2. I don't know how many parts there are to this story, but there's at least a part 2 coming. So this one I think I don't know if this one got a full wide release, but at least got a small release, and it's sitting at number 5 with that. So it's pretty good.
This is the one that I don't know if you remember. We went to a preview screening for Rebel Moon that was being hosted by Sean Chandler, friend of the channel. And there was a small group of Indian people that were sitting right in front of us that were talking to Sean Chandler, and they were asking him like, "Hey, this movie's coming out. This movie, a lot of people are liking this movie. Will you go see this movie and review it on your channel?" And not only did he go see the movie, he also went to go see the movie with the people who were recommending it. They all went to the local theater that they all go to, I guess, and met up to go see this movie. So yeah, kind of impressive. But yeah, that was the movie that they were recommending that he went to go see.
Yeah.
So I'd like to get more into that. Like RRR was really good. So I'm not like completely closed off about seeing foreign movies like that, but
RRR was amazing.
RRR was really good. I am into getting into this, branching into this form of movie as well. Yeah.
Number 6, we've got the Iron Claw. What do you stop? Number 6 was the Iron Claw, which is Zac Efron working with A24. So that's all you need to know to be sold on that movie.
The Claw. You're afraid of the Claw. It's coming to get you.
That's not. Stop it, you drip.
Why is he so Magoo?
Number 7 is The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Number 8, The Boy and the Heron. Number 9, Godzilla -1, still hanging out in the top 10. That's pretty good. And number 10 is Poor Things. Not in the top 10 right now. I believe it's going to be counted for next weekend, actually, is The Color Purple. Color Purple is not counted for this last weekend for some reason. So.
Or Ferrari? Did you say Ferrari?
Or Ferrari, either one.
So Ferrari, I guess Ferrari came out on Sunday and Color Purple came out on Monday.
Yeah, so they're going to be counted for next weekend's box office total.
Interesting.
Since they're counting from, I believe, Thursday preview screenings to Monday instead of starting on Sunday too. So they will count those, in which case they will have a leg up and will probably be the number 1 and number 2 ranked, just because they will have had some extra days bleeding into that weekend box office. But I won't have to worry about it because I ain't talking about box office next week.
Yeah. I want to see Color Purple. So I did recently watch the original for the first time. powerful movie. I want to see how does that translate when you add on a musical aspect? Like The Color Purple has been a musical on Broadway for a while now, and apparently it's done very well. That's why they're making a movie of it. But as someone who doesn't have access to Broadway because I live in Austin, Texas, I'm wondering how does that affect the actual story? And I understand musicals are really good at being able to carry that emotion. Like, big fan of, like, say, Tick Tick Boom, that carries a lot of emotion with it as well in those songs. How do they do that with this very heavy storyline? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you were to tell me that someone was making a musical out of Schindler's List, I'd be like, okay, why? Now, I don't necessarily. I'm not even going to get into comparing how rough the movies are, Color Purple, Schindler's List, or anything else like that.
It's just heavy topics.
It's a heavy topic movie. How do you turn that into a musical? And does anything get lost in the translation because we got to stop for a musical number? So that is what I'm really curious about.
This is actually a really good point. It's actually a really good point.
Is a Fiddler on the Roof. Yeah.
Fiddler on the Roof is a very like heavy movie, but it's also done well with a lot of like upbeat moments in it with the music and everything too.
Yeah. Or Les Mis. Yeah. Les Mis. So the reason I bring up Color Purple specifically is because correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, you'll probably know this right off the top of your head better than anyone else. I am not aware of any other movie I had seen before that has then been turned into a musical. And I know it's happened before, but I don't know if I've seen them.
I feel like we just had one not too long ago.
Like, I know we're about to get Mean Girls going through the same kind of treatment. The difference is Mean Girls is a fun, comedic movie to begin with. Turning it into a musical, probably not that hard of a thing to do. But how do you turn such a heavy movie like Color Purple into a musical?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about. So anyways, moving on to actual movie news. So kind of like what we said, the DCEU is formally ended now that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has come out. Speaking of which, that mid-credit scene, again, I think we mentioned it in the review, but that mid-credit scene is just so good as far as like the cap on the DCEU.
Just the punctuation. Just the punctuation from the DCEU. It's so good.
It's not meant to be. It just is.
It's just hilarious. To think about that being the last scene the DCEU will ever have. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So I love that. But yeah, now I was kind of hoping, I know I'm not going to give like any real spoilers for Aquaman, but some of the previous DCEU movies that come out this year, fair game, I would say. I was expecting Flash. I actually, if it was me doing this, I would have put Flash as the last DCEU movie and wrote into the script that the whole multiverse time traveling thing that Flash does in that movie would inadvertently have rebooted everything. That would have been the most easiest way and simplistic and probably more fan appreciating way to do that. And I think everyone in the chat's talking about Teeth the musical.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. I think it makes a lot of sense with the way they're kind of going about it, though, is they're just not even. I mean, you really, for a 10-year long cinematic universe, as jumbled as it was, you still would think that they would find a way to put some kind of a cap of some sort on it, and they didn't really. It just kind of Aquaman 2 happened, and like, well, that's the last movie we made before everything got redone. So now we've got the new DCEU coming out, and it's going to be, not connected. They're doing it to where it's completely separated from what has come before. They're putting a space in there. They're not even connecting it at all. So I think that might be the best way to go. In hindsight, if we get years down the road looking at what the new DCU does and looking back going, hey, it's a really good thing that they didn't actually do that scene in The Flash or connect anything that they had before to this and just let it all kind of fade into obscurity. This might be the best way to do it.
I do believe James Gunn has said that Blue Beetle will be a part of the DCU. And that makes sense because there really is not any real connection to the DCEU, which I think there was. There was probably a Wonder Woman cameo because that's what she was. What's that word? Regulated to? I don't know. That's what she was left up to.
Regulated?
Regulators.
Regaled?
That word. We're regulators and we're damn good too. Anyways, so I think there might have been something like that, like a weird cameo in there that they probably edited out just so James Gunn could say that Blue Beetle could continue. And here's the thing. I liked Blue Beetle. I am all for Blue Beetle continuing in the DCU. Relegated. That's it. That is such a hard word. I don't know why I have so much problems with that.
Because you have
and the rest of the English language.
You have problems with words that are one syllable long. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up. So yeah, like I love the fact that Blue Beetle gets to continue. I am, and I've said this before, I am sad that we don't get to see any more of Henry Cavill's Superman and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I thought those two were very well casted. They were very well acted and performed. I love those two characters. Yeah. I mean, I like Jason Momoa's Aquaman. He actually made Aquaman fun and entertaining.
He's going to be so much better as Lobo, though.
I'm going to love him as Lobo. If he actually gets to be Lobo, that's going to be great.
He is born, built, and styled himself to basically play the part of Lobo. So
yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that we have a good time. Here's a question that I have, though, and I know, like Jeremy Miller was sitting here. I wonder if Zaslav had any much say or didn't care anyways. This is what I'm scared about. Over at Marvel, Disney has left, for the most part, seemingly, has left Kevin Feige to control the entire MCU. They haven't had any kind of overreach. They haven't.
Not that we've heard about.
Yeah, not that we're aware of. Kevin Feige has had full control. That's what I want to see James Gunn doing. The problem is let's compare Warner Brothers to Disney. I don't hear of Bob Iger having that much control and influence over all of Disney stuff as much as I hear Zaslav having control. Every single thing that happens with Warner Brothers, it immediately goes to Zaslav. Zaslav, I can't even say his name right anymore. Who cares?
Z-Man.
Yeah, Zaslav has decided to nix the Batgirl movie. Zaslav has decided to nix the Coyote versus Acme. Zaslav is doing this. Zaslav, like everyone is hating Zaslav. After the strikes, I don't know how many people are really on board with Bob Iger either, but at least Bob Iger hasn't seemingly been overreaching, overpowering, controlling the MCU. He's still letting Feige have like full say and dominance over it.
So we're calling him Zaboomafoo from now on.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping, and I have serious doubts already, just from what we've seen publicly. I'm hoping Zaslav lets James Gunn just run things as James Gunn knows. I trust James Gunn. James Gunn has done fantastic with Guardians of the Galaxy, what little he's done with DC already, Peacemaker, the Suicide Squad. He's done a good job. And I'm hoping he just leaves James Gunn alone. I doubt it's going to happen, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm still, if I'm like placing a bet on something, one of the things, my kind of outlier bet right now is that Zaslav's not making it out of 2024 as the head of all of it. I think the board at some point this year might vote him out. Essentially, we'll see.
And that's all going to come down to what exactly is going to happen with Coyote versus Acme. Does it get picked up by another streaming service, and how well does it perform?
That and what's going on with this potential merger with Paramount Plus, not Paramount Plus.
Oh yeah,
Paramount.
if that was to happen. Yeah.
But yeah. So as far as like the whole future DC Hugo's. I mean, we're starting. Here's the thing: we're starting off on the right foot. You start off with Superman. Granted, I know Blue Beetle technically is kind of the unofficial start to the DCU, but Superman is like the official start to the DCU.
That Commandos, I guess,
it's a TV show,
animated show.
It's an animated show, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually technically coming out before Superman Legacy.
Yeah. For general audiences, Superman Legacy is going to be the first jumping point into the new DCU. So I think that's the right way to go. And I think from what I hear, it sounds like James Gunn's kind of thinking the same thing that most fans of DC actually think about in terms of the movies. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, get the main ones out. Let them have good, solid movies in and of themselves first. And then do your universal coming together stuff after that. It's basically what Marvel did in 2008 through 2012.
Yeah. I mean, there's already proof that this works. Just follow that game plan. Copy it. I'm absolutely 100% okay if DC just straight up copies Marvel. Now, they're not going to, because we already have an outline of where James Gunn is wanting his DCU to go, and it's not copying Marvel. But again, kind of like how we say in Feige, we trust. In James Gunn, I trust. I want to see how he's laying this out and how it's going to work.
I think the only thing different here is that for DC, starting off with Superman makes the most sense because he's the biggest name. He's the biggest superhero. For Marvel, like
would have been
on retrospect, it's amazing that they were able to start off with Iron Man and have such a big, expansive universe grow off of that. Because I would have had control of Spider-Man and started off with Spider-Man.
Yeah. For Marvel, easily I would have gone Spider-Man and X-Men out the gate. But
in Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America would have been where I would have started, like in between Spider-Man's and X-Men's. I would have looped in the Avengers and still built to an Avengers movie, but still give Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor their own movies first, because that's how they were in the comics. Apparently, I'm losing my voice. So I have high hopes for the DCU. I think the major number one thing that's going to kill it right now is we're still riding a wave of just bad publicity for DC Comics movies. Like this entire year has just been bad for DC. Like we just said, Aquaman, watchable, entertaining, liked it. But in general, people like your general movie audience are looking at these DC movies and like, I don't care. I'm not interested. I don't want to watch. I don't know how many of these people are going to be fully informed or up to date on the fact that we have like a changing of the guard happening and that we should be going into these new DC movies with an open mind, hoping to accept them the same way we did for Marvel when Marvel first started. So here's hoping that's what people do, but I don't have a whole lot of positivity going into that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. If Superman Legacy out of the gate is fantastic and is touted as the best Superman movie we've ever had, which is going to be huge because a lot of people have a lot of deeply rooted nostalgic love for Christopher Reeve. But if they come out of the gate saying this is the best Superman movie we've ever had, one, the Snyder Rose on Twitter are going to blow up. Two, it's going to set the trajectory for the DCU on the right foot. So all eyes right now are on this Superman movie. Is it going to be good?
Yeah. And one final thing before we move on to the next topic. Preach. Anyways, that's it. Moving on.
Wow.
Moving on. So big piece of news happened. What was this, like 4 days ago or so? Christopher Landon, who is the son of Michael Landon from Highway to Heaven. I'm making a reference to a TV show that probably most people who watch us have no idea what it is. But anyways, Christopher Landon, who's also known as the director of Happy Death Day to You, and Freaky, was set to direct Scream 7. And he put out a tweet saying, "I guess now is as good as a time as any to announce I formally exited Scream 7 weeks ago." Damn. "This will disappoint some and delight others. It was a dream job that turned into a nightmare, and my heart did break for everyone involved. Everyone. But it's time to move on. I have nothing more to add to the conversation other than I hope Wes Craven, his legacy thrives and lifts above the din of a divided world, and what he and Kevin Williamson, the writer of the original Screams, what he and Kevin created is something amazing, and was honored to have even been in the briefest moment basking in their glow." I am disappointed by this. The past couple of Scream movies have been directed by Radio Silence, who have done a phenomenal job with the Scream movies. I think Christopher Landon has done a really good job with Happy Death Day and Freaky. I was eager to see Christopher Landon's take on Scream 7. I'll be honest, I would have loved it if Radio Silence were allowed to complete their trilogy, so to speak. But I am still eager for Christopher Landon to have control of the reins of this movie. And due to Spyglass Entertainment and their infinite wisdom over handling Melissa Barrera's Instagram account and whatnot, stupid. Just absolutely dumb-ass stupidity. Like, I don't understand how a studio, a production company, there's bunch of people that work for them. There's not one person in that company that says, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. This is going to make us look bad." Nope. Apparently no one did that.
I'm going to try to make a connection here. Let me roll with this whole thing here before you say anything. Spyglass looking at Melissa Barrera's Instagram account. What do we do about this? This is the same in my eyes as Black Widow telling Okoye what are we doing about the earthquakes under the sea? And Okoye responding, "We handle it by not handling it." It's all you had to do. Just, you do nothing. It's all Spyglass had to do was literally nothing.
Yeah.
And they would be fine. And everything would be on track right now, except maybe Jenna Ortega might not be a part of it still. But that's beside the point.
So apparently the whole thing came down to something Melissa Barrera posted on Instagram. Spyglass thought that it was anti-Semitic, or it was blaming the fact that, like, Hollywood is made up of a lot of Jewish people and the Jewish people control Hollywood, and it was something vaguely.
They were completely misinterpreting what she was saying, basically.
Absolutely. And instead of being the better person or better company in this, going, "Hey, we messed up. We're sorry. Our apologies to Melissa Barrera, the entire cast and crew of the Scream movies, and the Jewish people in general." Instead of doing that, they still haven't fixed this. And now we lost Christopher Landon. I agree with Lego here. Scream 7 is not going to happen. And if it does, I am not interested in seeing it at all.
It's dead in the water.
Like, I know that apparently the last thing we got is they were trying to reach out to Neve Campbell to come back. She's not coming back. Y'all screwed her over on the last movie just with talking about the salary. How do you think she's going to feel when there's actual personal emotions involved? Do you think everyone just runs on money? No.
There's no shot Neve Campbell says, "Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that," in light of everything. I think the best course of action for Spyglass here is to sell off the Scream franchise, their rights to it, to someone else, and let that studio cook on it, simmer on it, and come up with a very brand new, absolutely new take that's not connected to anything that Scream was before. Just a whole new reboot of, this is the new Scream franchise going forward. And they do that, and they can do that, in some years. I think that is the way you go with this. Spyglass just needs to sell it off and call it a day. They messed up. They shot themselves in the foot. Bingo, bango, we're done with Screamo.
And there's like this. If Nev came back, yeah, she would get shit for being called a sellout.
Basically.
And then, yeah, who wants to direct this now? Like, nah, thanks. I'm good. I don't need to direct your movie. My recommendation is apologize to Melissa Barrera and everyone, fans, Jewish people, the other cast and crew of the Scream films. Absolutely apologize to everyone. And now that Christopher Landon is out, if you can get them, I would say try to bring back Radio Silence and then make this movie. And you do this waiting out. This is going to take some time. So hopefully by the time that Spyglass gets their act together, Jenna Ortega will be available to come back. I will be honest and say, and I know I've said this, even Chris has said this, the way the last movie ended, I'm okay if the entire series ends right there. It was fine.
Yeah,
it was
I think you put the cap on all of Scream with how Scream 6 ended.
That would make Radio Silence look bad unless Spyglass was to apologize.
I think the proper way of doing this is Spyglass just sells it off. They're done. Spyglass does not make another Scream movie. So
this is kind of the same thing I was thinking with the Drew Barrymore incident during the strikes. That the idea that Drew Barrymore had is she was just trying to get her crew to come back to work. It would unfortunately make her a scab for the strikes. And then when she apologized for acting like a scab, it looks like generally most people on social media were ready to forgive her, going, hey, no problem. You just realized that you were about to mess up. You course corrected. All's good. Can that not be the same here? Can Spyglass come out and deeply apologize?
No. Spyglass shot themselves in the foot too hard on this one. This is a very different situation than Drew Barrymore's. Because Drew Barrymore, her thing was just affecting Hollywood, the small bubble of Hollywood. We're talking about a world event that an actor was speaking to. We're talking about a major event that there's like a whole culture war and everything happening. This is like bigger than movies, movie industry and everything. This is a worldwide thing, basically. And it's too little too late for them to be able to apologize in that regard, get forgiveness, and then to be able to move ahead on a Scream movie now, and everyone be okay, we're going to forget about everything you did with Melissa Barrera and that whole incident. It's not going to happen. Their best course of action is to sell off Scream and not make another movie.
I do like this. Jeremy Miller saying, sell the franchise to A24 and let Raka Raka directors make an R-rated Scream. You know, I'm in favor. After watching Talk to Me, I'm in favor of letting the Filippo brothers handle Scream. I think they could actually do a pretty decent job. I honestly would say, though, I want them to do like maybe another 2 movies, like do their Talk to Me sequel and maybe one other movie before they handle something like Scream. I want to see them like earn, like Radio Silence and Christopher Landon have earned that ability to direct a Scream movie. I want to see that.
And this is also probably the bottom line point is their apology. When a corporation apologizes,
it's kind of hard. Yeah.
You can't really take it seriously.
How do you separate an honest apology from, well, we just want to make some more money?
We just want you to come back and do business with us.
Yeah. So
they're not going to make any money off Scream anymore. They need to sell it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let a queer director do Scream. Yeah. I mean, that's what we were going to get with Christopher Landon. So that would have been interesting to see, like the little twist, like was it Don Mancini, what he has done to the Child's Play franchise as it continued.
Yeah.
I think he's done very well for like the queer community on that. So anyways, moving on, last one, and this one's just going to be for some fun. I don't expect this to be a full-on conversation. Zack Snyder was talking about the idea of directing a Fortnite movie.
Pass.
And with the opinion of that, let's go to our correspondent of Fortnite and Zack Snyder, Mr. Chris Adams. What do you feel about this?
Pass. Big old freaking pass. Listen, do I have the bad taste of Rebel Moon still in my mouth?
Absolutely.
You bet your sweet bippy I do. Is that affecting my judgment here? Maybe a little bit, but also I've seen Zack Snyder movies now. For what he does well at it, I guess. Skipping past all of the movies that he may have done that you might have liked, he cannot. There's no way he does the tone of Fortnite correctly. There's absolutely no way. That Fortnite is bright colors, goofy. There's characters from all different universes. It doesn't make any sense. It's a goofy, fun shoot 'em up. There's actually a storyline, and it's kind of super sci-fi and crazy and out there. I don't think Zack Snyder is the right director for a movie about Fortnite. Do I think Fortnite as a movie happens? Yeah, eventually. Yeah, probably. It's a very popular IP. Someone's going to make a movie out of it.
Yeah.
I don't think Zack Snyder is the guy you go to direct it. I think Sean Levy is.
Sean Levy. I have one other set of directors that I think could handle it as well.
If you say Uwe Boll, I am taking my camera off screen right now.
Oh, God, no.
I'll pick Zack Snyder before
Now,
him.
granted, Uwe Boll has directed a lot of video game movies, but no, not Uwe Boll. I'm actually thinking Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
That also is not a terrible choice.
If you look at like what they've done with like say the Lego movie, like you were just talking about being able to combine properties, could you make a Fortnite movie that would include like DC, Star Wars, and Marvel, and Lord of the Rings, and John Wick, and whatever the anime that they do, combine all of these into one movie to have like a big like Ready Player One type of scenario? Could you do that?
It's interesting because like a lot of the big IPs coming together movies have all been studio based. The only one that comes to mind that really wasn't
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And I think that is a once in a lifetime type thing. I don't know. It's going to take some major work on someone's part. I don't know whose job that is. I'm not jealous of them whatsoever to try to, if they want to do that, if they want to do Fortnite as the game presents with all these different IPs from all over the place coming together, they're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting for each studio to kind of ask them to use their characters. And we're not even talking about just movie studios characters. We're talking about different video game studios characters. We're talking about all sorts. TV. We're talking about TV. We're talking about all over the place.
And then you've got like the real people. Like recently, we've gotten Eminem and The Weeknd in Fortnite. So now we're talking about adapting just personalities.
Those actually, I think, might be the easiest ones to get in there. Go ask Mr. Beast, hey, you want to be in the Fortnite movie? He's going to say yes.
Oh yeah, then you got like all the popular gamers who are also a part of Fortnite, like Cypher, Courage.
All the streamers are in there. They're automatically a yes.
I'm thinking of this. I'm thinking out loud. There's no way that like Cypher, PK, Courage, they're all like, yeah, no, I don't want any part of that. No, they're getting that money.
Yeah,
they will be a part of that.
They're all in there. Yeah, it's crazy. Imagine Marty directing Leo as Jonesy, De Niro as Fish Stick.
The Robert De Niro as Fish Stick is probably the funniest thing out of all of that.
Because it's just doing a voice.
Yeah, but I'm imagining De Niro's got that. Come on. He's got that wise guy type of look. Like I'm only imagining De Niro in like Goodfellas and whatnot with that kind of like look. Now transpose that on Fish Stick.
No, Fish Stick needs to have like a Bobcat Goldthwait voice. Hey guys, I'm Fish Stick. I love this. Like they asked Zack Snyder, would you want to direct a Fortnite movie? And he was, so apparently Zack Snyder loves Fortnite. Apparently he plays Fortnite. So in terms of, does he know the property? Would he know the property enough to be able to convey the story? Sure, I guess. I still don't think his style is the right style for for Fortnite to be in a movie form. I really like Lord and Miller. I think that's a great choice. I think Sean Levy is a great choice. I mean, we've seen what Sean Levy did with Free Guy, and if that doesn't convince you that he would be able to direct a Fortnite movie, I don't know what would. Because I think there was definitely parts in that movie that were basically Fortnite.
Yeah, they played it like it was Fortnite without having to pay Epic Games any kind of royalties or licensing or anything. But essentially, Free Guy was Fortnite.
I think the biggest question would come down to, are you just solely only focused on the storyline that exists within Fortnite? Which there's a lot of story there. There's at least a solid trilogy of movies that you can make off of the storyline as it has been so far in Fortnite. Or do you focus on getting some of the IPs in there? Are you getting Optimus Prime and the Ninja Turtles and Wolverine and Batman and John Wick and the Terminator and RoboCop and like, are we getting all these folks in here?
I don't think so, because starting with this new season of Fortnite, or this new chapter or whatever, I just recently learned like some of the actual lore of Fortnite, and I'm not about to try to explain it here because it's massive, it's confusing, and I'm in my 40s. I'm not the type of person that's going to be able to eloquently explain, here's the lore of Fortnite. Nope, I am not doing that.
I'll do it in one quick sentence. Fortnite basically exists at the center of all realities. That's it. All the realities that exist, Fortnite's pretty much at the center of it. There you go.
That works. But I mean, you still have that story to tell. You still have to, you would still have, like, say, Jonesy would be the primary like protagonist that we're following. You'll still have probably like the 7 be a part of it.
Which you automatically have to get Dwayne Johnson and Brie Larson in there.
Yeah. I mean, some of those come hand in hand. You know, for those two, you have to get those actors.
And technically Joel McHale.
Who's Joel McHale? Is he Jonesy?
No, he's he was the scientist. One of the 7.
Yeah, I don't know these characters that well. So, I mean, you still have that story you have to tell, but it has to be, that story has to make sense, and that has to be first and foremost without playing the whole, like, well, Batman's also going to be here, and so is Wolverine, and here's John Wick. You can't be adding all these characters on top of not nailing the actual lore of the game, of the story first and foremost. And I would not leave something like that to Zack Snyder. I said it in our, like, when reviewing Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder has done good work. I love his Dawn of the Dead remake. I love Watchmen. I thought he did phenomenal at that. I haven't seen 300 yet. Man of Steel was okay. There's a couple of choices in Man of Steel I'm not a huge fan of, but BVS, Justice League, I think his version, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, was actually really good. Was much better than when Joss Whedon took over. So Zack Snyder has good potential to make good movies. Rebel Moon just was not that good, in my opinion. I don't really care if I ever see Sucker Punch or whatever, the Owls of Ga'Hoole or whatever.
Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
Yeah. Like, those movies are not ones that I'm eagerly wanting to go see anyways. I do want to see 300 because it looks cool. It looks awesome, and I want to see that. So,
yeah. Quick side note: the character of Jonesy in Fortnite is voiced by Troy Baker, who, in all reality, I wouldn't be mad if he actually portrayed Jonesy in live action too.
That would be kind of cool.
He doesn't look that far off from him, and he's already got the voice. So, yeah, that would actually be pretty dope if you see Troy Baker kind of hold down leading a movie in the Fortnite universe.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
So, I mean, there's a couple of different directions we could go with this, but yeah, that's ultimately what I would like to see is let's focus on more of the story of the lore. Let's simplify it because, like I did, I just watched a 45-minute long YouTube video that was explaining from the time Fortnite first started all the way to, like, right now.
So 6 years of lore.
And that took 45 minutes, and I was like, nope. I don't get what's happening here. I got like the basics idea. Like I now know which characters are important to the story of Fortnite. But I'll be honest, I just like going in there and pew-pewing people. And that's it. So
yeah. Does the Fortnite movie happen? I think possibly. I'm going to be honest. I want another Pokemon movie before we get a Fortnite movie, though.
I actually agree. I would
give
like that
me
as well.
either Detective Pikachu 2 or another live action story within the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Cut it, print it. That's your next video game movie. I know we're getting Sonic 3. That's going to be good too, I'm sure.
There's Sonic 3. I know this next year we're also getting Borderlands.
Borderlands will be interesting.
I don't know anything about Borderlands, so
I know very little about Borderlands.
Yeah. So I know there's going to be more video game movies coming out because, I mean, honestly, we've gotten a lot of good, decently made video game movies. The Sonic movie, the two Sonic movies have actually been very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers, while a little cheesy at some points, was good. I enjoyed it.
The caveat on that one is it's an animated movie, and if you can't do an animated video game movie, then you shouldn't be doing a video game movie at all. And Nintendo was behind it the entire way, making sure it was going to be good. So,
yeah. Uncharted wasn't bad.
Uncharted was fine.
I think it could have been better. I don't know the source material, the game that much, but just looking at the game and looking at the movie, there's a couple of things I think could have been fixed. We're about to get a sequel to the newer Mortal Kombat reboot.
I was going to say Uncharted should have been made 10 years ago with Nathan Fillion leading the role.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, we're going to get Mortal Kombat 2, which looks like that might be heading in a good direction. I'm kind of iffy on the 2021 Mortal Kombat, so. But, yeah, we'll see. I fully expect a Fortnite game to be coming, though, or a Fortnite movie to be coming.
I like this. If a Fortnite movie is made, do they mention New Master 69? Fun fact on this to leave it off of. Before we call it a night. If you go back and you watch Avengers Endgame, Korg and all of them are playing, and Thor are playing Fortnite on the TV. And the Fortnite that they're playing was the Chapter 1 map. The Chapter 1 of Fortnite, like the original map of Fortnite, that everybody played the game in. The OG location. Map. Yeah, the OG map. Endgame took place, the actual events of Endgame in the year it took place was this last year. It's going to be off by a couple months, but it was the same year that Fortnite decided to bring back the original map of Fortnite back into the game.
So you think Endgame had anything to do with that?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone was actually thinking about this at all, or if it's just a crazy happy coincidence. But oddly enough,
that's crazy.
They made it work. Now, technically speaking, if we're looking at actual timelines, I think Iron Man did his snap and died in, was it like October or something like that? Is when we were saying I think is when it comes down to. And then the Fortnite OG was like a month later. So technically they're off by a smidge, but
you know what?
Splitting hairs.
Thor's the god of thunder. I'm pretty sure he's allowed to have early access to the new Fortnite maps. I'm just saying, like, how is Epic Games going to tell Thor no? You don't tell Thor no.
Yeah, but then New Master 69 also has that.
Of course, apparently New Master 69. You don't tell New Master 69 no either. So, go figure. Logic be damned. Anyways, that's going to do it for Tagline. Last Tagline of 2023. Hope that was enjoyable. A lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun with these news topics. So, which I don't think most of these news topics were very like, we're chomping at the bit to talk about these, like some of the recent ones over the past couple of weeks. But
no, we were pulling teeth to try to find something tonight.
Let's just talk about something. Hey, Zack Snyder, Fortnite, cool. We play Fortnite. We like Zack Snyder movies, sort of.
Do we? Yeah. I like Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yeah. Dawn of the Dead, Watchmen, whatever. Anyway, so that is going to put a cap on it for 2023 for the Tagline. thank y'all for being a part of it. Everyone who has been here watching us week after week, we very much appreciate it. Again, huge thanks to everyone who's gotten us over that 2,000 subscriber barrier. Next year, we're shooting for 100,000. So let's make it happen, y'all. Just kidding. I will be happy if I'm wanting to shoot for 5,000. I think 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2024 would be great. I hope for more. Because
like that's just the natural progression and growth of what a channel is supposed to do.
Well, I mean, we've been doing this for a while, so I feel like, and I know I shouldn't be comparing our channel to other channels, but I feel like we should be bigger than we are right now. But I'm okay. I'm okay with where we're at. So let's shoot for 5,000. I feel like that is a good, healthy goal to shoot for, and hope for more. If more than 5,000 happens, hey, I ain't complaining. So. Please stay with us throughout 2024. Should be a lot of fun. We got some changes happening. I'm not going to say exactly what's changing, but we got some stuff on the horizon. We will talk about it a little bit more when we come back from this break. Again, Tagline will be back on January 17th, so stay tuned. We're going to have some updates for y'all. What the outlook for Cinefanatics in the future is going to be. Should be fun. We've got ideas. So... otherwise, other stuff going on again tonight. After here in a little bit, roughly in about 30 minutes, we will
after here in a little bit.
Yeah, after a little bit, we'll be doing our Barbie watch along. So join the Patreon at the $5 tier. You could come join us and watch Barbie, which has been like a major staple of the Tagline for like a better part of 2 years, so to speak. Doing the Barbie watch, so it's only fitting that we end the year with the highest grossing movie of the year, and a big part of Tagline, we're going to do Barbie. We're watching Barbie for the Barbie watch tonight, so come join us, hop on that $5 tier, go to our Discord voice chat. We're watching it streaming on Max, so it's available, so come hang out with that. And then otherwise, yeah, we got Trivia Hangout, which is going to be a broadcast live MCU match. That's going to be January 24th. Our Patreon watch along for next month is going to be January 31st. And then we have the marquee on Friday, January 26th. Most anticipated movies of 2024. So that should be a lot of fun. We're going to do a recap of like what we tier ranked the 2023 movies. Some of those are a little awkward now.
Yeah. Also, Dune will be on both lists.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of movies that I think are on both lists, so yeah, we'll see. It's going to be fun, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Anything else I need to cover?
That's it.
All right. Well, make sure you follow us, thank you to everyone who is watching live. If you're watching this on a replay, let us know your thoughts, feelings, opinions down below in the comments. Make sure y'all all hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on social media. We are at The Cinefanatics on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can follow me personally at Robert Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, also youtube.com/@RobertAdamsMLP. That will be changing pretty soon. Details to come.
And you can follow me at Chris Adams MLP on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd, as well as twitch.tv/Chris Adams MLP.
Yep. That's going to do it for tonight. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next year. We will see y'all later. I know, so stupid.
I quit.
Bye. Cinefanatics is just going to be me in 2024. There's the first change. Anyways, good night, everyone.